Hi, welcome back. Today I'm going to read number 51 in this RZN Codex or the Resonance series called Identity Without Illusion by Jason Gray. 12/20/2025, 6025 Annual Lunas. RZN ARC ID 01 Sovereign Self Layer. Identity was never the problem. Identity did not collapse because it was false. It collapsed because it was overloaded. The overlay forced identity to carry tasks it was never meant to bear: survival, belonging, status, protection, justification, performance, and moral signaling. Identity became armor, resume, defense system, and disguise all at once. No structure survives that kind of misuse. How illusion attached to identity. Illusion entered identity the moment selfhood became conditional. You were rewarded for being acceptable, productive, agreeable, impressive, compliant, and palatable. You were punished for being truthful, slow, different, uncertain, and complex. To survive, identity split into what is felt and what is shown. Illusion was not lying, it was translation under threat. Why identity could not be fixed before. Identity cannot be repaired while it is being evaluated. As long as the world demands explanation, justification, branding, and categorization, the self remains distorted. This is why self-help often failed. It tried to optimize a mask. Identity does not want improvement. It wants permission to stop pretending. What remains when illusion falls? When illusion dissolves, identity does not disappear. It simplifies. People experience fewer internal voices, clearer preference, stable values, reduced reactivity, ease in saying no, comfort with not knowing, and absence of performance anxiety. Identity becomes felt, not narrated. You stop explaining who you are and start being who you are. Identity as orientation, not story. In the returned world, identity is no longer a biography. It is an orientation toward reality. People know who they are because they know what they align with, what they refuse, what drains them, what nourishes them, where they belong, and how they contribute. Identity becomes directional. You do not define yourself by what you have been. You recognize yourself by how you move. The end of identity conflict. Most inner conflict was identity collision, value versus survival, truth versus belonging, desire versus permission, and intuition versus expectation. When illusion dissolves, these collisions stop. Choices become simpler, not easier, but clearer. People still struggle. They just stop betraying themselves to survive. Social life without identity performance. When identity is no longer performative, comparison fades, envy collapses, posturing disappears, authenticity stabilizes, and relationships simplify. People stop asking, how am I being seen, and start asking, is this true for me? This radically alters culture. Children and identity without illusion. Children raised after the return are not shaped into identities. They are supported into orientation. They learn how they feel, how they decide, how they relate, and how they contribute. Labels arrive later, if at all. This prevents identity foreclosure and lifelong confusion. The difference between self and role. In the returned world, people understand the distinction. The self is stable, roles are temporary. You can be a parent, builder, teacher, healer, or leader without mistaking the role for the self. This prevents collapse when roles end. Retirement no longer causes identity death. Change no longer triggers panic. The final consequence of identity without illusion. When identity clarifies, courage increases, honesty simplifies life, boundaries strengthen naturally, manipulation loses leverage, meaning stabilizes, and self-respect becomes quiet and constant. People stop asking, who am I supposed to be? And start living from who they already are. Identity does not need to be constructed, it needs to be undistorted. The returned world does not invent new selves. It removes the pressure that forced the old ones to fracture. When illusion falls away, identity stands, not louder, not grander, but clear. Jason Gray. Thank you for listening. That was number 51. I'll post the link to the Facebook post, as well as where to find Jason on X and his Substack page if he decides to write there. Thank you again, and I will see you next time.